This is flight Pewaukee, actually in the city, right across in the park, right by by Pewaukee Lake. Initially, we're going to take the drone up to 150 feet and do a quick pan. You can see that we see a kid cruising by the track. I didn't catch that until I looked at the video, or I would have took a closer look at it. We're going to take a quick pan at this point, and I'm going to take it up another 50 feet. I'm going to cruise at 200 feet today, just because I'm going to go out towards the lake. I want to make sure I cover all the buildings. Now, those buildings are only 4 or 5 stories, so I probably have clearance 100 feet over than what I need at this point. So I'm starting off towards the lake, but we see the train coming, so we're kind of curious about that. Now, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to capture what's the best way to do drone imaging of a train. Do we go against the way that train is going, or do we follow it? So I'm going to circle around here and actually come back on it here in a minute, and then we're going to do a little following of the train and see what it's about. However, like you say, I'm starting to get excited and go all over the place. You'll see I double back on the train here in a minute. Again, I'm at about 200 feet. Here we go. We're going to come back on the train. What's interesting is we got a polarizing filter on, so we can pretty much see to the bottom of all the water that's open, which is nice, for better or for worse. I'm going to come up on the train, and we kind of were going against the grain, and that footage kind of sucked. So I'm going to get my bearings here. Fighting a little cold today. And then we're going to come in, and we're going to actually come down on it and actually run. But you could see the moment that you start doing it, you never want to go against the grain of the traffic. Interestingly enough, the craft, if I would run it wide open, almost would be going as fast. I bet you that train's going 40 miles an hour, so I bet you the drone would go up to 30, 32 miles an hour if I'd run it wide open. I'm going to go back. The goal technically was to get out in the middle of the lake by some ice fishermen. Realistically, once I get past the condos here in Pewaukee Lake, we're looking at about 800 feet, 900 feet from my current position. I'm 200 feet high also, so now we're on the ice. Interestingly enough, a lot of neat cracks on the ice. You can see the ice fishermen out there. The drone won't go that far. Today I did not get there. But it's interesting. Now, the other interesting point, you see those guys are out on the ice, but you also see a difference between the two types of ice out there. I don't know enough about fishing to know what that is, but I'll ask a couple of my ice fishermen. But assuming that all the folks that are ice fishing are out in that juncture of the ice, must mean that must be where the oxygen is and the fish are. So you must be looking for that if you really want to set up fish and go fishing on the ice. I'm coming back towards the condos. Now, directly to the left would be going back to where I'm at. Currently, I'm getting no bells or whistles that I'm anywhere close to being out of range of this thing. So we're just going to keep on checking out the scenery. So I think I'm going to want to go towards Main Street here and actually fly down Main Street. It's a cutesy town. Wasn't always like this. They got a little flair of what Delafield's done with Lang. So it makes it kind of neat to hang out in the summer. It's trying to be a yuppie place. It's got a piano bar and a chocolate shop and, all that other foo-foo stuff. at this point, I'm going to have to let you go. I get lost through the last part of this video, and it takes me a minute to find my bearings. Turns out the reason that we get lost is because we lose the internet connection for the Google map. So the GPS for the device is actually feeding the tablet that we're actually looking at the video on. But because we don't have any internet connection, we have no way to update the Google Maps, so it kind of hangs. Now, what's nice about it, the distance still works. So even though I don't actually have my flight path status, it's just a matter of me doing a couple of circles and then moving forward a little bit and doubling back on it until I start lowering my count the distance I'm away from it. So the moment I started lowering my count, I was able to find video or points of reference that allowed me to get back to where I could land. Remember, this thing's got a home button too, so if you really freak out, hit the home button, it's going to fly back to you. So I'm going to try to marry the audio to the rest of this video and see if I can give us something a little more exciting than what we've been dealing with in the past. Thank you very much.